it's December 10th, and what's going on currently in the world? So, for one thing, Syria has fallen, and the Assad regime has been defeated, and Assad is now hiding out in Russia. And who did this? There was this group of rebels up in the north near Turkey that is made up of Al Qaeda and ISIS people, and now they're called something else like HTS or HST or something like that, but they've renamed themselves. But after Hezbollah did the ceasefire, then Turkey initiated this group to attack everywhere in Syria, and they've taken over in less than 11 days, taken over the entire country and pretty much kicked everyone out. So Iran no longer holds Syria, Russia no longer holds Syria. There are Iranian and Russian assets in Syria, and there's American assets, and there's Kurdish assets in Syria, and now there's even Israeli assets in Syria because they made a buffer zone at the bottom of Syria between them and the Golan Heights that they want to hold this chunk of Syria to keep these terrorist guys from coming in. And what's hilarious is Israel's done such a good job at kicking everyone's butts that these guys from Damascus have multiple recordings where they say, oh, we liberated Syria. We're peaceful. We don't want any trouble with Israel. We don't want any trouble with Israel. We want to have we accept all religions and peace and blah, blah, blah. These guys are ex-Al Qaeda that cut people's heads off, okay? Nobody's buying this line of bull. Their leader had a $10 million bounty on his head from the U.S., and now he's been taken off the terrorist watch list along with his group and put on the good guy list. We took them off the terrorists and put them on the good guy list because they took over Syria, and it's ridiculous. Nevertheless, Israel's being smart. They're not falling for it. They're making a buffer zone. And since they took over, they've gone in and they've hit a bunch of chemical weapon stockpiles and a bunch of arms facilities where they make arms and different things, weapon manufacturing facilities. They've hit those too. A bunch of bombing in Syria going on because they don't want these terrorist guys to arm up any more than they already have and challenge them at some point, because they know eventually this problem on their northern border is going to become a problem again once they get their power structure rested. They're going to basically, after a little bit of downtime, want to fight. So nevertheless, we're just going to have to wait and see how that plays out with Syria. But again, very interesting. The Assad regime has been kicked out, and basically ISIS and Al Qaeda under the control of Turkey has taken over. Now, this actually, you got to remember, Turkey with Erdogan, he wants to make the Ottoman Empire again. He wants to recreate the caliphate and be the caliph of the caliphate that takes over the whole world and makes the whole world Muslim. He wants to be the ruler of the Muslim world from Turkey. So his being able to take Syria helps him do that. And this also is going to work towards the Gog and Magog thing, because if Syria is under Turkish control, we know that Turkey, Iran, and Russia together are going to come through Syria to attack Israel, along with a few other Muslim nations that they can get on board that aren't having peace treaties with Israel. So at some point, something's going to happen in the world to where they don't think America is going to back Israel, and Israel's all alone, and Russia, Turkey, and Iran are going to attack Israel. I don't know what that is. I have my suspicions that it probably is an economic downturn, which might, again, be related to just plain out us having an economic downturn, or it could be if the rapture takes place. Of course, we're going to have a giant economic downturn. If that many able-bodied people disappear and can't pay their bills, it's going to wreck the Western economy across the entire world, especially in America, where we have so much debt. Okay, so that's what's going on with Syria and Israel. Now, the other thing that's interesting that's going on, or weird, is there are these drones that for the past 7-8 days have been appearing in New Jersey and other places. And these drones aren't little kid drones. Some of these drones are almost the size of cars. They are giant commercial drones, the kind that have to be registered with the FAA. And the government and the intelligence agencies are like, we don't know who's running these drones. You know, don't worry about them, but we don't know who's running these drones. We're investigating. And we're like, huh? If they got to be controlled by the FAA, and you're not attacking them, and they're flying over military installations and one of Trump's golf courses. It's like, how do you not know what these things are? How do you not shoot one down and figure this out if it's just a drone? And they say, oh, if one comes down, don't approach it. It could be dangerous. It's like, okay, this sounds like they're doing a drone thing with our national intelligence. Are doing something with drones. And I can only imagine what they're setting us up for with these, whatever thing they're doing with these drones. I mean, they basically have them going out to these places and staying up in the air for hours at a time. And normal drones can't stay up for hours. Only these giant commercial grade ones have the power to do that and have that much battery juice to keep them up. But I don't know what's going on with these drones. It's really weird. Now, I did see something interesting where I was watching a video and a guy showed a video of a drone show with all the tiny drones, to where they made a flying saucer in the air and were mimicking, with the flying saucer and the lights, were mimicking an alien spacecraft. And that's when it hit me. Bam! The Great Deception. I always just thought, hey, it's going to be an illusion that people will see because fallen angels create the illusion for them to see. It never hit me that it could be a giant drone show over every major city. It could. That's all they have to do is at nighttime, after the rapture takes place, they have a government, each government, these government entities have a set of drones in each major city: New York, LA, Dallas, Philadelphia, all the big cities, the major metropolises. And they put up a giant drone show right in the air, and everyone goes, oh my God, look, it's a spaceship, and all these Christians vanished, and there's a spaceship over the city. And then they make it disappear. They take it up and then they make it vanish. So the Great Deception could just be a giant drone show over every major city. I never thought of that in the past. I thought it was going to be this grand illusion that was supernatural. I never even dawned on me it could just be a big drone show done by the National Intelligence Service to deceive the populace, so we didn't, because they don't want us realizing that God is real. They would rather us think it's extraterrestrials. In fact, they're going in front of Congress and they're testifying about extraterrestrials, and they're being real vague, but they're calling it unidentified aerial phenomenon, not objects, aerial phenomenon. And then they're not talking about extraterrestrials from another planet. They're talking about interdimensional, and maybe they live in the sea type things. So they're planting all these seeds to make it seem like it's plausible that we're not alone in the world. And we know we're not alone. We know there's angels and God's above. But again, it's really weird and odd. So I just wanted to share my ideas and my feelings about all this. Again, I feel like there's something coming. I feel like we're between contractions. I feel like, hurricane passed over, we're in the eye of the hurricane and the other side's coming. I don't know what's going to happen. It's just, it was so insane, and now it's so calm all of a sudden. It's eerie. So strap in and we'll find out what happens in the future. And by the way, everyone needs to find Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, because whatever's coming, you don't want to be here for it. So thank you and have a good one.